Previously on our Route 66 road trip. We hit the open highway as we began our epic Route 66 journey. We headed west from Flagstaff in our beloved Camaro through the towns of Williams, Ashford, Seligman, and Beach Springs, passing unique roadside oddities along the way as we toured above, through, and underneath some of the best Route 66 has to offer. Today, we conclude our journey as we work our way towards the California border through some of the most treacherous roads we've faced so far. After the long day before, we couldn't help but sleep in. We cleaned the cabin and packed up our gear, which somehow was able to fit in the narrow back seats and trunk of the Camaro. By 10:30, we were on the road back to Parks, where we got ice and jumped back onto I-40. Unfortunately, in order to pick back up with Route 66 in Kingman, we would have to drive the 2 hours and 130 miles back to Kingman along the same route we ended yesterday with.
Dude, I just realized something. We are in the same car as Lightning McQueen. If we get caught by a town sheriff,
we're gonna have to repave the road.
Just before 1 p.m., we rolled back into Kingman. We had picked back up on where we left off yesterday. The first thing we did in Kingman was check out the Powerhouse Visitor Center, originally built in 1938 as a substation. Today, it's a museum that contains a lot of Route 66 iconic history. We spent a good amount of time in the museum and then headed across the street to a small park. The park has an old Santa Fe locomotive and caboose. The history of Route 66 owes its foundation to early survey tracks of military expeditions. Later, railroads were built along these survey lines, and with the invention of the automobile, highways were eventually built alongside these railroads. After briefly checking out the train, we got back in the Camaro. We topped off and continued along Route 66, aimed for Cool Springs and the treacherous climb through the Black Mountains. There's a lot more to see along Route 66 in Kingman, but our time constraints meant that we had to hit only the most popular destinations. The road quickly leaves the city and is in the desert in no time. After 20 miles, we were now facing the rugged and daunting Black Mountains, which contained one of the most dangerous sections of Route 66. Beforehand, however, we made a quick stop at Cool Springs. Cool Springs was originally built as a gas station in 1928 before burning down in the 60s. The site was rebuilt and now stands as a stone cabin with a few old items out front and souvenirs and snacks inside. We continued on.
It's really time to start slowing down.
Leaving Cool Springs, Route 66 twists and climbs 4 miles to Sitgreaves Pass. This section of narrow road, often without a guardrail, can be a little intimidating. Going back, this was the steepest grade along Route 66 and offered motorists numerous car problems as they climbed the grade and overheated. At one point, there was a service that towed cars along the road so that people wouldn't have to face driving it. We fared much better, in fact thoroughly enjoyed the climb. The Camaro with its manual paddle shifters proved to be a great car for such a curvy road. We arrived at Sitgreaves Pass and stopped briefly to take in the tremendous view on either side. Looking east, you can see the road you just came on and the open desert outside Kingman. To the west, rugged mountains, the Gold Road mine below, and somewhere out in the distance, California. There was also an unsettling amount of crosses on the west side, but we won't mention that because that kind of ruins the moment.
Though the ride up to Sitgreaves Pass was fun, the ride down was even more so. With gravity as our aid, we ripped down the road past Gold Road Mine and through the tightest turn on Route 66. Yes, that is actually a thing. Before we knew it, it was 3:30 and we had pulled into the iconic town of Oatman, the last major town along Route 66 in Arizona. Oatman was founded in 1906 when gold was discovered in the surrounding hills. By the 1930s, the town boomed, and by the onset of World War II, Oatman had died out, although not completely. Today, Oatman remains a popular tourist destination with its numerous gift shops, restaurants, and historic spots like the Oatman Hotel. The real draw for Oatman, however, is the wild burros that roam the streets. Descendants of miners' burros, the wild burros that roam the streets of today make Oatman such a unique place. They get plenty of food, like to poop on cars, and don't mind standing in the middle of the road. Oatman also features reenactments as well as an annual Fry an Egg on Route 66 Day.
We walked up and down Main Street checking out the sights and then grabbed a bite to eat at the Olive Oatman restaurant. Oatman had a fun vibe. Old and creepy, maybe even haunted on one hand, but small town charm and touristy on the other hand. By 5 o'clock that evening, the town was starting to shut down. The shops closed and the burros began to retreat to the hills. We took this as a sign to continue on. Leaving Oatman, Route 66 weaves past Boundary Cone and through some high desert. 20 miles later, we found ourselves in Topak.
We had found a pullout that overlooked the Colorado River and stopped to bid farewell to Route 66. While Route 66 does remain in sections of other states, there is no place that has a longer stretch than Arizona. Between the past 2 days, we had covered over 160 miles of historic Route 66. After leaving the Colorado River, we continued 200 miles back to our house on the outskirts of Phoenix. It had been a long day, covering over 400 miles since the cabin in Flagstaff. Very tired, we unloaded the car, which was now quite dusty, and turned it in the next day. It had been a great trip, the perfect car, good company, and a perfect route. If you are ever looking for a day trip or even a weekend road trip, Route 66 needs to be on the list. On the next AZOffroad.net special, we retrace Top Gear's steps as we work our way from Phoenix to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, 450 miles away, using as few paved roads as possible. Along the way, we face some of the most difficult trails Arizona has to offer, including the Backway to Crown King, Broken Arrow, and several others as we wind our way across Arizona's back roads to end at the Colorado River at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
S. Seligman.
Oh, this must be Seligman.
What gave you first clue?
10-4.
My camera is worth $1,000.
That's why he has it on that thing.
That's nuts.
A little bit.
I guess anything for the shot.
I know.
Try not to back up.
You want me to go by it one more time?
Now go ahead and pull over here. Oh no, he stopped to reverse. Like, oh, that's not a big
Well,
deal.
I'm not risking this thing.
How awesome is that?
Watch him. I've never seen a bat before.
Look like a baby?
so little. He's like, okay, Mom, I need
Learning to fly.
He is. Come up, Sam.
He was just sitting right here. I walked in like, what is that?
What? He's
Spider bats.
Alright, don't try this at home.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah! Hell yeah!
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.